It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
And welcome to the realm of geekdom. This is Nerd Breaking News. One of the biggest conversations right now in Laker Nation is LeBron James. Is he over? Is he not? We had that conversation already. But the more important question that everybody's talking about right now is his legacy with the Lakers. 8 years, one NBA Finals championship. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Is this a good, acceptable legacy, or is this a complete failure for the Laker career that he had?
Listen, I'm gonna go quickly. Guys, it's so annoying. It's not technically a failure because he has a Mickey Mouse championship. So technically, what is the TK number 17 Laker in history? 17 title in Laker history, whatever it is. 17, 18 rings?
18.
He technically delivered a ring to the Lakers, right? As much as we don't agree on that bubble championship, he technically delivered a ring to the Lakers. So we can't say it's a failure to him and then say Giannis and Jokic in the last 8 years are failures when they each got their rings. The counter argument to that is they're not playing for the Lakers. There's a certain standard to play for the Lakers. So two things could be true. It's not a failure for LeBron, but it's a disappointment for LeBron. Why? So the LeBron fans are arguing that before he joined the Lakers in 19, the Lakers were pure trash, right? And then Shannon Sharp went on and said that they weren't on TV and all that stuff, and then it quickly got debunked in the comments saying that they were on 42 national games. And I always think about something the professor always says because he lives in the West. They're out there, man. They're on TV. They're in merchandise. They're on media. Irrespective of who the hell plays for the Lakers, they run the West Coast. So this whole idea that LeBron joined 2019 the Lakers and they weren't on national TV, it quickly got debunked. So again, that's just dumb. So was the roster amazing in 19? No, it wasn't. But you were still coming off the 18 finals when you did amazing, quote unquote, against GSW. So you weren't old, quote unquote, yet. You were still LeBron James and you had Alonzo Ball and these boys and you couldn't make the playoffs. The next year, Anthony Davis and Clutch cries their ass off, and he ends up getting traded to the Lakers. It was so convoluted of how he got traded that you guys needed a global pandemic to get the Mickey Mouse championship. And the kind of argument with the LeBron fans are saying, oh, but everybody had those circumstances in the pandemic, in the bubble. Yeah, but when you don't have fans and you don't have road games and you don't have that road atmosphere and you're just included in one bubble to the point where the Clippers literally were dying to leave. They're 3-1. They lost a 3-1 against the Mavericks, and they were literally dying to leave. It took extenuating circumstances for you to get that ring. Then after that ring, you lose the first round against the Suns. That's, I don't know how. Anthony Davis was healthy. Why did you lose that first round matchup? 2022, I think they don't make the playoffs. And then 2023, they lose against Jokic in the Western Conference Finals. 2024, they lose against Jokic in the first round of the finals. They lost, I think it was gentleman's sweep. So I think either they got swept in a row or they lost 9 or whatever it was. And then 2025, last year, the Ant-Man beat you and Luka. And then obviously this year, you lost against OKC, which is, again, that's a juggernaut. But that's 8 years. And so I'm not going to call it a failure, but I'm not going to call it anything else other than also a disappointment. I'm not a Laker fan. It's very polarizing what's going on in LA right now because you have a lot of Laker fans who are stuck in the middle. Do I want him back? Do I not want him back? That's a different story. Right now, it's just pertaining to his legacy. If he doesn't come back to the Lakers anymore and he goes to Cleveland or New York, wherever he's going, and it ends at 8 years, it's not a failure. But if he comes back, the longer you play, like TK's argument has always been, and if you don't do anything and you have more years with Luka, that whole not a failure might change.
Professor?
It's a tough question Most franchises don't get a single ring in 8 years. And the fact that he was able to bring half of one over to the Lakers, I think, is enough to celebrate. We have to also consider what players the Lakers drafted before they got LeBron. You had Brandon Ingram, who did okay, but didn't amount to much. Lonzo Ball, whose career is basically already over. Julius Randle. We all know about Julius Randle, don't we? But aside from that, you're not talking about any elite talent that they were able to draft before he even came. So then you argue, okay, would they have had a good shot at getting one of the really good players that's been drafted within the last 8 years? But when you're looking at them, you recognize that none of them have championships either. So the reality of it is, I think, that when you're really analyzing what LeBron's impact is, you also have to consider what it would look like if he wasn't there. And if he wasn't there, the Lakers would continue to be irrelevant. So when you're looking at it today, their relevance almost entirely comes from him. We could argue that in the future it'll come from Luka, but let's be honest. Luka and Austin Reeves together they're not going to keep the lights on. They're just not. The fans will be happy with the quality of basketball, but there will still be less fans watching it because, yeah, Austin Reeves is a great player, but he's boring. And Luka Doncic, I mean, after a while, you get tired of seeing people blow past him and him getting dunked on. So I mean, it kind of is what it is. So I think that given the circumstances, LeBron was successful, but at the same time, he didn't meet expectations. Because when you're looking at what the expectations were multiple rings. And considering the rosters that he played with, it should have been possible. Yes. So I think that, and I'm sorry I apologize if I'm all over the place. I'm thinking it through as I'm talking about it. I think that this is one of the few basketball debates where both sides just really have it right. Two things are literally true at the same time. He was successful and a failure at the same time.
I also think that, before TK goes, I know he's a resident Laker guy. I also think that it's a little bit rolling your eyes with the LeBron fans because the Lakers are favored almost every year once they got Anthony Davis. Every pundit, every media dude, for the Nick Rice, for the Clutch dudes, for all these idiots who every single time always said, you know what, I got him against Yoke. I got him against the Suns. For example, what was the Laker argument this year in the playoffs? Man, when Luka comes back, we're going to beat those juggernauts. We're going to beat them. All we need is Austin Reeves to come back to help us with the Rockets. And Professor made a great point. He had his PTO. He was injured. Hey, come back, Austin Reeves. I need you to come help me out.
Yep, that's exactly what happened.
You can't be favored maybe 5-6 years out of your 8-year time with the Lakers and be favored to go far, be favored to be a top 4 team, Western Conference team, finals potential team, and then still not say it's disappointment. Like the LeBron fans can have it both ways. There was a time where they had Malik Monk, AR-15, Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell. There was a team where they had a roster. They just couldn't be Yoke. And then Jamal Murray was on fire. Like, how did you lose that Suns series? How did you lose against the Ant-Man when you had Luka as well? Like, again, it's just too many. Just like it was a microcosm of his career as a whole. Too many failures happened, and so the Laker fans are going to see a BS ring, and they're going to see that game against the Grizzlies, I think it was, when he beat the old-time record as a Laker, and so they're going to see those glimpses. Like, yeah, LeBron's 80s wasn't that bad, but your team was favored to do something. And nothing happened in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
I think in this argument, you have to separate the overall career of LeBron James and his tenure with the Lakers. Because when you start thinking about his overall and you start looking at his accolades that he's broken just because of his longevity, all right, they all came pretty much wearing the purple and gold. And they're going to remember that. And that's nice and all, but we also got to remember, like, these stats are not just Laker stats. These are Heat stats. These are Cavalier stats. You know, he was part of all those teams where he built those numbers up. All right. So for me, it's like you have to take away the accolades that he has on an individual level and focus on what he's actually done with the team. And that was 8 years and 1 championship. Prior to LeBron, who was the superstar? It was Kobe Bryant. 20 years, 5 rings. Prior to him, we could say it was Magic Johnson, right? Magic Johnson was 13 years with 5 rings.
Dang.
Before him was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 14 seasons with 5 rings. So we started looking at those superstars that the Lakers have had since the 70s, and we could even go back and at Will Chamberlain. He came in at the end of his career, had 5 seasons, 1 championship. That's still 20% chance of you winning it. LeBron James, 1 out of 8, that's 12.5%. Everybody else in the 20s and 30s, he's at 12. And if you're a Laker fan and you've been following the Lakers for decades, right? A true Laker fan, that you've been there from Showtime and on, and even prior to that, you're used to seeing your superstar bring you multiple rings. LeBron had the opportunity. He had the teammates. He had the squad. He pretty much had a choice of who he could bring or not to this team. And he didn't. He wasn't able to pull it off. He only got that 1 ring. And unfortunately, it's the Mickey Mouse one. Right? We're joking around it being a half a ring. You know, we know the advantages they got. And let's be real. If that was a regular season, there's no way they would win the NBA Finals that year.
Yeah.
They won it because of Anthony Davis able to relax, recover, and become the monster he was in the finals.
Which he was. He was. Correct. But the thing is that outside of the bubble, Anthony Davis has never shown a full season plus regular season playoffs to sustain his durability. He has never shown that.
Exactly.
So it's coincidental that you only did it when it was 4 months off, man.
Yeah.
So these are the things that LeBron fans don't talk about. Yeah, did you win the bubble? Cool, dude. You won the bubble against Baby Yoke and all these dudes. And by the way, the Heat were injured. I love how nobody mentions that the damn Heat were injured.
Correct.
And Dennis Dragic was injured. And Jimmy Butler had to take an IV. He was exhausted. And Bam with an APP out for him. Like, again, man, I don't want to get to like a legacy thing with him in terms of like outside of the Lakers. But it's always something with this guy. It's always he wins by he beat the Baby Thunder. The Ray Allen shot that he should giving a gift basket every week of his life to Ray Allen. Kyrie Irving and stupid Draymond caused that 16 finals collapse. And then it took a national illness for you to get a ring. Like, not even a national, a worldwide illness that affected people. People actually died and affected businesses and all that stuff. That's how you got your 4th ring. And you see this. I hate to say it, but there's always something off. It's like,
Yeah, and the LeBron fans, they love playing the what if game. The what if that we can tell you is like, hey, if we didn't have that pandemic, the Lakers wouldn't have won it because we know Anthony Davis would have gotten injured. It would have been just you.
100%.
And without Davis's number, who, if we remind you, he was the highest scoring player on average.
Should have won Finals MVP. He should have won Finals MVP.
Agreed.
Correct. Yeah. And obviously, he was the best defensive player in that game.
By the way, the Lakers roster was disgusting. Caruso,
it was.
CP3, D. Howard, Rondo, like that team was disgusting. And so,
so you had a squad. You only got to 1 ring in the bubble. You know, like if you didn't have the bubble, I'm sorry. Like without Anthony Davis being at the full recovery that he had, you wouldn't even gotten that 4th ring.
I think it also looks bad for him as well because he had a younger Anthony Davis in the beginning of he got him in 2020, and then it also looks bad because you're also getting a mid-20s Luka. So it looks bad because you got 2 superstars during your 8 years, and you have nothing to show for that. So that's where it also looks bad. And then AR-15 is kind of like he's inconsistent, but you know he's on a scrub. So it's sort of like, man, you had people in your team, and you. By the way, the reports were that he openly vouched to get Russell Westbrook in the Lakers.
Oops.
And so Russell Westbrook was a huge disappointment in LA. But again, the LeBron fans are not going to mention that it was his decision. Hey, can we get Russell here? So
It was also his decision for him to be out of there.
That too.
He also benefits, like, now we talk about LeBron and the Lakers. Like, he also benefits, God rest his soul, the great Kobe Bryant is no longer here.
Mm-hmm.
He also benefits from that in terms of his Laker legacy. Because I feel like Kobe, he was LA, he was beloved. He was the second greatest shooting guard in the history of basketball, the Mamba. I also feel like if the Mamba was still here, I don't know how people are looking at LeBron if Mamba is still going to the crypt to watch the games with her. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you see the great Kobe Bryant sit down while watching these Lakers and be like, oh no, that's greatness over there.
Yep.
That's Kobe Bryant. And I feel like the damn shame since he died, God rest his soul again, too many people have been bashing Kobe Bryant.
Correct. And I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason they're doing it is because he knows he can't defend himself.
Exactly.
That and we talked about earlier. I think it's unfortunate that a lot of clutch people are doing it because they're trying to elevate him over Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. All right.
Anyway.
Any final comments about putting him under the microscope for his 8 years with the Lakers?
He deserves credit, and he deserves criticism at the same time.
Does he deserve a statue?
No.
Okay.
No.
Absolutely.
No. We just mentioned a couple of players with 5 rings that don't have statues. So
who has the statue?
Wait in line.
Yeah. But TK, who has the statue for the Lakers? Do you know anybody? Is it just Kobe?
I don't remember all of them.
Is it just Kobe?
Shaq has one.
Shaq has one? Okay.
I'm pretty sure
Shaq
has one.
Shaq got one. Kobe got one for sure.
Magic should have one.
I think he does.
I don't remember them. I don't remember.
No, I'm just asking because you're naming Laker legends who won multiple championships. And I just think if LeBron gets it, that's a huge L for the Lakers.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. All right, well, everybody else, let us know what you think. Do you think that his legacy with the Lakers is a positive one or a negative one? Do you agree with what we're saying? And if you don't, let us know in the comments. Follow up. We do follow up with the comments. We are reaching back to you guys, so we love to hear from you guys. All right, so keep your fandom alive and your wardrobe engaged. Until next time, fellow nerds, this is Nerd Breaking News.